Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 376
376
of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. The holidays are in full swing in Central Florida, including Walt Disney World, except for Epcot. That's on Friday. And then Universal Studios, which we'll be talking about today. 3 million lights at Give Kids a World. SeaWorld,
Legoland coming,
yes,
so much going
Jolly
on.
Creek.
Jolly
and
Creek.
We'll talk about that, towards the end of the show. So if you're planning on visiting now, or if you're planning to visit next year, check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. They have been in business for over 20 years, booking Disney and other vacations.
So as you can see, we're starting here at Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is the earliest I think I've been to Disney's Animal Kingdom for the holiday season in a number of years. You can see the tree is in full force, and actually the tree is never better because they've moved the security further out, and you can actually, there's plenty of room now to see and photograph the tree.
Well, plus you get better security now. Like you can just
walk right
through.
It's fantastic.
Nobody's touching the stuff hardly ever.
Best
so I love it.
security ever. I love it.
But it was a beautiful day. Not too crowded. We tried to cram in as much holiday spirit as we could this past week.
Yes.
So that we could stay mostly away from the parks during the holiday
Take a little
week.
vacation.
No vacation. We're working at home all week. So we got all our, content, did a lot of fun stuff this week. I'm pretty tired.
But we're still going to Legoland, though.
But we're doing a couple hours at Legoland, and we're still looking here at the tree.
And it's the same tree, basically,
yes.
If you've watched our shows over the years. And the decorations outside the park, all of this is the classic decorations we've seen for the last number of years.
And it was, again, a nice day, and we were here mostly to see the Flotillas and to ride the safari.
Right, and it was a nice little bonus that it was a wonderful safari, and we'll get into that later on. But we're going to start off, as you mentioned, the Flotillas, and the first one we saw was Mickey and Friends.
And these are really fun. You get to see, I think there was 5 or 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 themed flotillas, plus a couple non-holiday ones.
Right.
That float all around. They boat all around Animal Kingdom on the Discovery River. And here you got Mickey and Minnie and Pluto, and that is the holiday one. This was my favorite place to watch them from. Not my favorite place to photograph them from, but where Rivers of Light used to be.
Yeah, the big theater is a wonderful place because you see the flotillas coming one way, and then they go and do the loop, and then they go back out the other way. So you actually can see them twice by sitting there, and it's a very relaxed and comfortable place.
Rivers of Light was not the best of the Disney shows, but that theater is fantastic for a rest area. We had lunch there. We, watched Santa Claus and
we have to mention Santa Claus is on the screen right now. We saw him from a variety of different angles, so it was always nice to see Mr. Claus, the big guy himself.
Yes, and he also appears at the other parks, except for I'm not sure if he's at all the parks, but most of the parks. So here Santa's floating down.
As you were saying that, I can tell you he does appear at all the parks.
Does he all?
Yeah, because he's in the parade at the Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
He's in one of the, what are they called? The caravans at Epcot, starting on the 28th.
You know what? I think it was that he doesn't appear normally at Animal Kingdom,
right.
And so he's in the flotilla, so that was something special. Now, Donald's Dino Bash has 2 floats. One of them, 2 flotillas here. We have Donald, Daisy, and Launchpad McQuack all ready for the season. And then we'll see also Chip, Dale, and Goofy.
And it's nice because, you're seeing them here. They're decked out for the holidays, but also they're playing the music that you would hear in Dino Land. So it was really nice. It kind of brought you back to that festive time of year.
It's really interesting to see how the different theme parks in the area, because we've done SeaWorld this week, we've done Universal this week, and now of course we've done Walt Disney World, how they each do, character greetings and such. And some of the others do actual meet and greets at a distance. And then Disney tries to kind of not go that way, a little bit of it, but not nearly as much.
What was interesting about this particular flotilla was the music was the Jingle in the Jungle parade music. I'm not sure that's the correct name, but that's the essence. Jingle, jingle, jungle.
The holiday version.
Right. which has been retired.
Well, for many years. That
All
was
the
actually a
parades
really
have been.
fun parade.
Remember the
you know.
Artimals, the first parade?
I actually don't remember that one.
Oh, I like the
I would have
little
seen it.
antler, the reindeer effect there from Chippendale. Very nice.
I remember when we put them on YouTube the first time, Chippendale as dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
and YouTube kept saying this is not appropriate for children because Chippendales.
Oh, yes.
You know, it was so weird.
I never even figured it out until
I
much
assume
later.
that's why.
By the way, pay attention, close attention to Pocahontas there. This is earlier in the day when it was a bit nice and sunny, but at the end of the day when she came out, look at this. She has a nice leather coat.
Right.
It was really cold and windy at this point, so you can see the characters. They will dress for the weather when they need to.
At this point, it said 73 degrees out.
You would have thought it was 40.
Really,
We
it
were
was.
freezing.
I was so cold, and I had a long shirt, I think a sweatshirt type thing, and long pants. I was freezing.
Even Pocahontas was obviously cold.
I think, it was very breezy and we were on the water. I just was so cold that day by this time.
Well, I suspect people watching it don't feel too sorry for us.
No.
In the 73-degree
No,
Arctic
but I
weather.
could have used a heavier coat. And so this isn't not holiday. This is Rafiki and Timon in their
regular
yes.
flotilla, but it was still nice to see them come by. I always enjoy them. I missed their little dance party they used to have.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that's not going on, this year. A lot of things have been modified, but like last year when they did that dance party, it was a lot of fun.
But you still get the jungle band. What are they called again?
It's a Discovery Island drummers.
That's it.
And playing holiday songs in a holiday themed flotilla.
And if you like them, this is absolutely the best place because you have them here longer. It's a big area where they come out and then when they come around. So you can really hear about 2 songs. It's definitely the best place for the drummers.
And for social distancing as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we actually had gotten some food at Starbucks, some sandwiches, which is very nice, by the way. They actually sell nice sandwiches.
Yeah, they're really good.
And we were able to just kind of have a little lunch there. And there was very few, almost nobody around us. Except for the wind. The wind was sort of blowing.
And the one family that was so close, it came in so
happens.
close,
That
and
always
so we
happens.
moved. But yeah, it was actually really nice.
And this debuted last year, the lights on the dinosaur at the entrance to Dino Land.
And Dino Land right now is not that decorated. Usually Dino Land's really fun for Christmas,
Right.
but that is like Santasaurus he's not there.
Yeah, very disappointing.
So we're hoping
the entrance, they make you think, come on in. It's going to be beautifully decorated. This tree is about it in this area.
It's kind of, I don't know if they're going to add some more. Now, Discovery Island itself looks actually beautiful. They had the puppets last year.
Oh, I love those puppets.
The puppets and the puppeteers, and I'm so sad that can't happen this year. But the decorations that also came with them, the puppets and
a lot of white.
Right, there's a lot of that. It's beautiful. The decorations are beautiful here.
And it was really beautiful time of day. It was dusk, that magic hour. So, it was a nice way that, the park closed at 5 o'clock. And here in Florida, it's still, as you can see, it's still light. This is about 5:15, 5:20 or so, and it's still pretty light out.
And, those figures are reminiscent of those puppets. So I'm hoping next year, things will be back to mostly normal and, everybody can enjoy those puppets.
I hope so too. They were the surprise and delight of the year.
Wonderful.
So now we are the next day we went to Universal Orlando Resort. We went actually to both parks, but we're going to start at Universal Studios.
Well, we spent most of the day in there. It's always a little less busy than than Islands of Adventure. We did this holiday tree hunt. It cost about $10, and you end up getting we got an ornament at the end.
Right, but you go to all the various shops where these specialty trees are, and each shop will give you a stamp. Now, pro tip, you don't even need to finish. You can actually go to any of the redemption places at any point and get your ornament if you don't finish. We were told that, and we didn't quite finish, but we got most of it done.
But you should finish. I mean, it's actually really fun. I really I really enjoyed that a lot.
Now this was a lot fun. Universal's holiday experience featuring Macy's balloons in one of the sound stages. Last time I was in here, I was in this area. It was for one of the horror night houses.
Is that where is this
It was
where
in
it was?
this basic general
Okay.
area. Yeah.
This was a surprise. We knew kind of what we were getting into, but this was wonderful.
Oh, much better than I expected, actually.
You have the various, because they don't have their parade this year, some of the floats are in this building, and there's characters, and there's performers, and there's Santa Claus.
Balloons.
Right,
These
that's
giant, but you said floats, but they also have
I'm
these
sorry.
giant balloons, like
Well,
the Macy's balloons. They're
When I
wonderful.
say floats, I meant balloons.
And that has minions on it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. I was just kind of wondering about the eyes.
And there is Gru himself, who is very animated, by the way.
And this was so fun.
It was.
This was, we did it 3 times, and 2 times in a row. First time really to get the photos and video. Second time we got a little of that as well. And then third time really just to go in and enjoy it.
And this shows you what a scarf can do. It turns Gru into Holiday Gru.
Yes.
Scarf is magic. This is one of my favorite balloons, the Minion balloon.
The Macy's parade is well, it's not really called Macy's parade anymore. It's called like the Universal parade.
Right.
Featuring Macy's balloons. I think the older parade I preferred, but I'm starting to get used to that music. We were listening to the music as we're in this.
Right, they had all the new
it.
music was playing, and of course we'll link to it so you can hear all the music and everything. It was just so nice in there, and they had special lighting. It was really a wonderful. You felt like nighttime. You felt like all of a sudden you're transformed into night, because normally this parade happens after dark.
And the characters do alternate, so that's another reason that we had gone in the second time to see if that happened, and it did. So we have Lucy here, Gru's wife, and so that happened. Not all of the characters alternated. Puss in Boots did not.
Right.
But like the Madagascar characters did.
Right, and speaking of the Madagascar characters, we're going to start off by seeing King Julien here, and has his giant balloon from the parade behind him.
And I like how it says, to Julien, from Julien.
Yeah, that's a very nice gift.
Yes, and so we didn't really know who to expect coming out, but the penguins made an appearance, and they have their holiday costumes on.
I love the penguins. They are fantastic, and they have been meeting sometimes one at a time throughout the regular park since it reopened.
And so is King Julien. So we've been able to see a variety of different characters.
That's
yes.
right. And as I mentioned before, anytime you see a scarf on a character, instant Christmas.
But they have their hats and stuff too, and even a little sweater. So it's a little bit more of an effort than we've seen some characters.
That's right. And here is Gingy. Always love Gingy.
And Puss in Boots, who alternated with himself.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's other characters who might make an appearance occasionally, but maybe not, because we saw Shrek and Fiona already, and some others out and about.
Right, and now Puss in Boots is usually walking along the parade in front of this nice float he has here, and we had a chance to get a close-up look at some of the detail of the float, and I thought it was really interesting to have that kind of time to see it. I think we're going to see some pigs in a minute.
Yeah, the 3 little pigs, but we have Donkey here, right? Is that?
I believe so. I believe it is.
Don't quote me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those Shrek movies in a while. But we did see Shrek, Fiona, and Donkey outside as well, greeting guests. So we've seen actually 2 different Fiona. 2 different Fionas.
Types of
yes.
Fiona in close proximity.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. We'll see that very soon. Now, there was no line when I was walking in this area to go and meet Santa, so of course I decided to do that. You could see one of the Macy's stars, the classic balloon stars there, and they had a nice pathway, and Santa will interact with you at a safe distance. You see he's wearing his mask, but he still has his big beard on and all of this, and he has a microphone so you can hear him very clearly.
It's really been amazing to see the creativity of the different parks and Gaylord Palms, and singing with masks and having characters with masks, and I've been really impressed at the level of entertainment and sometimes meet and greets and such, like meeting Santa here. they really made it work for this year.
Absolutely. And it was he was great, actually. So much fun. And I know you said you didn't get a chance to, and we'll have to go back so you can meet Santa also. I didn't get a picture with him. I just chatted with him, and you can see that conversation on the standalone video. And here we have more of the awesome balloons. I always love these balloons when they're outside, but again, it's still nice to see them with the lighting, and they're still there. You're closer than ever to them in the parade building here.
I don't want to say it's better, but it's just as good, but in a totally different way. I mean, you don't have all the characters. You don't have, a lot of the performers. Right. So there's something
confetti, certainly.
There's something to be said for really missing what is normally here, but at the same time, it's to be able to have this is really nice.
And this is towards the very end of the exhibit. You see Santa's float, which makes sense. You have one of his elves who is very talkative through the mask there, which is very safe. And I like the little effect of, as you're walking out, you have some Christmas snow to exit with.
It's not as much snow as Jolly Creek,
No.
which we'll show later.
It's enough snow for me. It's more than enough snow for me.
I think it was the first snow that we had, or did we have a little bit at Gaylord Palms?
I think we had a bit at Gaylord, but it was one of our first snows.
Oh,
here.
yeah, at Gaylord too. So, yeah. So, again, beautiful day, plenty of social distancing at this moment. Islands was a lot busier.
And you could see
for me.
The streets were decorated. You had the little light posts with the Santa hats, and you had mentioned the Shrek characters in their Christmas attire. And Fiona has quite the different look over here with their. I don't remember the name of the baby there, but the baby is in attendance.
Baby.
Yes.
The child. So,
the child.
Yeah, and green. Same color.
Very similar.
So Universal's holiday character celebration includes Shrek, Madagascar, and Minions. We only saw the Shrek, but we're planning to go back in probably mid-December to see this again. And so it was really interesting. Like, they stop, and then you have almost like this little show in various areas.
Right.
And so you had the wolf here, and they were like dancing. Did you get my video with them dancing? Because it was really fun. You just have to watch your social distancing because guests do start coming over.
Well, they do have circles. Like, if you want to take a selfie, you have a designated place to stand. But you're right, it was a lot of fun, and I felt very, very safe in this area.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a busy day. So Shrek and Fiona, like, we saw Fiona later in human form, and but it's really nice it's like you're getting a mini parade several times a day with different of the floats, and then you can go see the balloons. So there's lots of aspects of the parade that you get to see.
Right, and I didn't show this, but there's also a little stage behind the float where you have the performers doing
He was having a lot of fun.
Yes.
I thought he was really funny. I'm not sure, like, everybody was just dancing around and stuff. It was really a good time.
So now we're going to get back to our tree. Everyone forgot about it probably, but we're still doing the scavenger hunt to find all the trees and all the shops. And this was one of my favorites, the alien tree here and the Men in Black shop.
There was, how many trees were there? 12 or 18 or something?
There were a lot.
There were so many trees to look for. It's not a challenging scavenger hunt. They're really interesting trees, though, to find, and we did not do this last year.
So our next stop was lunch at Fisherman's Wharf. We've been wanting to go to Lombard's for a while, and we found out they had outdoor seating, which is a must for us, and it worked out really well.
We haven't been to Lombard's in a number of years, ever since a friend of ours we went with, and he has since passed away. He always wanted to go to Lombard's. He wanted to go to Lombard's, and we finally made it to Lombard's with him. And he used to watch the show too. But here we haven't been since then, and so we got a corner table.
Right in there, right under there, by the way.
We wanted to dine outside away from people, and we totally got our wish. We were really away from everybody.
It was an off time, which worked out very well. I think this was about 3 o'clock-ish, between maybe 3:30.
I don't think it was quite that late. There I am sitting, and I thought it was closer to 2. But they told us to come, they were supposed to text you, and I think you gave them the wrong number or something. So it ended up being even a better off time. this is where we were. There's like nobody around.
And nobody came. We had this
Yeah.
whole area, and you could see there's fans. It was the most comfortable and relaxing outside dining experience I've had since we have tried a few of them.
Yeah, I think this was the best. Just 'cause, I mean, when you really have your whole social distancing, for eating, it was really good.
And that was a Blue Moon, nothing fancy there, but a very refreshing beverage
You have
while
to
we're
ask,
waiting.
You have to ask for the bread
Yes.
if you wanna have any bread. So
Very good bread, though. I do
It
like
was
their bread.
good.
I miss the Universal butter.
yeah, it used to say Universal Studios. I got a fillet. I decided to not get a alcohol drink just to get spend a little extra on food. And it's only in the like $26 or something. It's not
Oh, for a fillet, it's very reasonable,
right, and
especially in a theme park.
I mean, it's not your top of the line fillet, but I think for the price point, I thought it was a very nice dish.
And it looks very, I knew this was going to happen. These segments make me very hungry. This lobster roll, by the way, was very good. Different than the one I'm used to getting at the boathouse. The boathouse also has fries where you have the chips. I think I prefer the chips. A little bit different type of lobster, but I felt it was a great deal. I would like to come back and have this again. It was only a few dollars less than your fillet, I think, but it was great. I can't wait for another one.
It was a very nice, very good meal. And so, tribute store. They have a Christmas tribute store where they had a Halloween Horror Nights tribute store, and so I didn't know exactly what to expect, but
Well, I
it
knew
was
one
really
thing.
good.
I knew one thing what to expect. We're about to see that. I knew they were going to have a moldorama, and I knew I was going to attempt to put it to use.
Well, we knew there were two Moldoramas, and just like Halloween, one of them was broken.
Maybe they switched them out because the one I really wanted the most, which was Santa here, worked. So, and there he is. He's right over here in where we do the show. And I love Moldorama. Because there's so much scent in there, I couldn't really smell it. Part of it is smelling the wax, but it was still fun, and it comes out hot. It was a perfect mold, by the way. There were no flaws in it, and I'm pretty happy to get it. And it even took credit cards. The last time it didn't quite work, but there he is.
I'm still amazed that we get to have Christmas here
Yeah.
to the extent that we are getting it. I know not everybody gets that opportunity, and here's the snowman.
I attempted to buy that like 3 or 4
Didn't
times
work
with
out.
different cards, but hopefully I didn't get charged. But no snowman.
Next time, that will be one of the next things we do. But here we are walking through. This is a big store. Last time, the Halloween store for me was a little crowded, so I left early. I didn't realize how big this area was.
And I didn't even show all of it because it really was a bit crowded the second time I went in to get the video. So I just am showing to me the highlights of the store, but there's quite a bit more to it. And this was your favorite part. We actually had one of those little hamburgers in the corner.
Yeah, everybody thought it was a hamburger. It's a gingerbread whoopie pie. It was
so good.
It was not bad. It's not on the level of the red velvet whoopie pie or the carrot cake cookie at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Those are the gold standard, both of them.
Yeah, it wasn't as heavy as that. It was lighter.
It had it was a much, it is. It's a much lighter taste, especially to the innards of the whoopie pie. So, this, I think that it felt more crowded. You can tell it's not really that crowded in there. It just, some areas are a little skinny, and then you're trying to stand in line or something when there's a lot of, not that many people, but it feels crowded.
And you see Earl the squirrel there seems to be their mascot in this area here.
I feel like I should know who Earl the squirrel
I
was.
should too, but I've never heard of him before this.
I don't want to say I haven't, and I probably will look it up and I'll be like, I got it. And you know what? After this, we'll probably look it up.
Did you notice this little
Nut job.
bonus?
Yes. I took the picture.
Oh, yeah. It was very nice to have a Christmas shop. What do they call it?
The holiday tribute
Tribute.
store.
I don't know what the tribute is. Maybe
It's
to Christmas.
It is. It's a tribute to the Grinch, to Harry Potter. I think that's what we're looking at there.
And here is Marilyn Monroe here on her convertible. Not a mask. I've seen her with and without masks at various times. But you know who is enamored with her is right here.
Hashtag the panda.
Hashtag he was loving it so much he was out of breath for a moment.
I did not see him out there. So I think Marilyn Monroe, when she's sitting a little closer to everybody, will wear the mask.
Right,
but, if
right.
she's driving around the car, there's probably not a reason.
Yeah, so, and I know you saw her from a different vantage because I did manage to see your video. And of course, it wouldn't be Christmas without Stilt Walkers.
And we've seen many Stilt Walkers throughout the parks. We saw them at SeaWorld yesterday, or the day before, whenever we went.
How can you go wrong with a candy cane Stilt Walker? And you're even having a nice little chat with them
Having
at
a
that
little
moment.
talk with them, yeah. And then there's other Stilt Walkers here. And, the Stilt Walkers remind me of Hollywood Universal Studios.
Yes.
Universal Studios Hollywood has so many characters and so many performers not this year, they're not open right now, but for the season.
So now we moved over to Islands of Adventure, and here is another tree, a Harry Potter themed tree.
Yeah, there's so many different ones, and I thought that the holiday trees were even better than the Halloween trees. I thought they were even better themed.
Absolutely, I agree. So when we were in this shop, we decided to get our ornament for the purpose of being able to show it. We'll go back and get the rest of the trees at a later time, but here is the front, or is it the back? I don't know. It's one side of the ornament.
Front. I think it's the front. And again, you're looking at, for $10, you have a really fun scavenger hunt, and then you get a nice ornament at the end.
And it comes with that little velvet bag you saw at the very beginning to hold it and keep it safe.
And I like going through all the shops. I like seeing what's for sale and what I might want to get, and I had a good time.
And now we're here at Grinchmas.
Okay, so usually there's a wonderful show every year. Really probably my favorite show in Orlando, not running this year, but they have the Who's out and the Grinch meets, but you have to reserve it. Or there's also a holiday tour, and if you do the holiday tour, you get the Magic of Christmas at Hogwarts Castle as well, which is exclusive
to your
apparently.
Group or whoever you're doing it with?
Whoever takes the tour.
It sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah, it's like between $50 and $60, I think, per guest, and then you get to meet the Grinch, because normally you would have to,
it's hard to meet the
reserve
Grinch.
ahead.
There's a standby line, but I was told by the team member that it doesn't always guarantee you're going to see him.
You have to
and
reserve
then you have
ahead.
to get it with the app. So it was. I was told it would be at least 35 minutes if I wanted to see the Grinch.
Well, I mean, at least you get to see him, but I think the holiday tour sounds interesting and not too expensive. So then we saw Yertle the Turtle.
Yertle the Turtle, your favorite.
He is my
childhood favorite.
My childhood favorite character, Dr. Seuss, and in a little bow, and then
Sam I am. What a greeting! Is that the way he greets?
I
shaking
suppose
his buttocks at me.
That's a holiday greeting.
Well, it certainly is for Sam. He is.
Yes, and so there's all kinds of decorations all over the Seuss
One
area.
of my favorite trees of all is the Grinch tree. How can you not love this one?
I know, you got the arms coming out, and we didn't do this last year. They had it for free, I guess, the scavenger hunt. Though
Well, we did make it to Christmas, but on the very last day, like January 6th or something.
That's usually how we do it, and this year we're just trying to get it all in early.
I know we showed a lot of Grinch last week, but I do love the character, and it's very interesting that you have so much of the Grinch here, and he's also at Gaylord Palms for breakfast with Max the dog.
And there is a lot of Grinch. You see a lot of the Grinch at Universal, more than I would have expected for the holidays.
Yeah, he's sort of their
Mascot.
Mickey Mouse for Halloween or Christmas, certainly. So our next, what is our next thing? Oh yes, there is. It looks like this is going to be a meet and greet area behind a rope and everything. I don't know if that's really what it is, but it appears maybe for thing 1 and thing 2 or something like that. It looks like a meet and greet.
I never thought about that. I just thought there was a car and a snowman that looked like the Cat in the Hat.
And of course, Harry Potter land, always themed for Christmas here, Hogwarts. And this was really the end of the day because at this point it became too crowded, and that was it for us. But we had a great time. Can't wait to go back to Universal and see a little bit more of the Christmas that we didn't see this time.
It was a good time. Islands was a little bit crowded for me.
But it was late in the day.
There, right.
It would have been, if we had gone there earlier, it would have been fine. And now we're going to talk about Jolly Creek.
So, yeah, we were invited to Jolly Creek, and this is where the Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures is. Like, we could have gone on an airboat if we had wanted to.
I absolutely would have. If it wasn't raining, I would have done it, but I waited too long. We had to get all this footage first, and then I'm thankful that we did, though, because, as you said, it started to rain. I don't think rain would be conducive to an airboat ride.
I don't know. We didn't know how hard it would rain. So, Jolly Creek Holiday Festival and Marketplace. It's, you're out in Kissimmee in an area you wouldn't expect to find, let's say, an orchestra, and here is Santa.
Santa gets around.
Santa needs a mask.
He's been to all three places that we have seen.
So, I was just saying that there's no mask on Santa.
Right.
Almost everybody has their mask on and everything. So I actually really love this event. It's a very low key experience.
You could see they have a fire there where you could roast marshmallows. I wish you could smell. It smelled so good out there.
I didn't understand how that. I didn't really.
You
understand.
walked up to the elf. They gave you a stick and a marshmallow, and you can have it.
I did not do that.
Yeah, I was offered it, but I had my hands full with recording.
So if you're in the area, Jolly Creek, there's a variety of prices on tickets, so you can go online and check. They have really good entertainment. That is something they do have. And you can look at each day, and not every day is there an event, but you can look at each day that does have an event and see what the entertainment will be for that day.
There's one constant at all events, as you're going to have right here.
The Jolly Creek Orchestra.
No, the Jolly Creek Society Orchestra.
Yes, who used to be at Disney's Grand Floridian. We also saw them in Disney's Hollywood Studios. This was my favorite part. We found a bench in the back and just sat and watched entertainment because to be able to go and look at
a snowstorm came.
It was a lot.
There was a snowstorm right in the middle of White Christmas. What a coincidence.
It's like you're out in sort of a swamp area seeing high quality entertainment that you would find at the parks.
In the snow.
Not real snow. And they call it fake snow. And they showed us 3 different acts. There's usually 2 that will play on any given night, although I saw at least one day where it's only the orchestra. But we got to see all 3, and they were, all of them, fantastic. Really just fantastic entertainers. And, it would be hard to choose a date because generally you get like a couple of them on one day. Sometimes, again, I think at least one day it was just the Jolly Creek Society Orchestra. But it would be hard to decide because the entertainment is so good.
It's just a great night out, They had really nice turkey. They had some nice food, reasonable. The drinks were reasonable, and I could just sit there and watch a couple sets of the bands, relax, have a drink, and it's a great night.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it, especially if you're local or if you're coming to the area. There's also a little marketplace, so there's local vendors there selling items like soaps. We bought some soaps.
Why don't you give a little shout out to our
soapy
friends?
Yeah.
Yes, we did buy quite a few of their soaps.
We bought some, yes, and so
Bumble. I noticed the Bumble soap is sitting outside the bathroom now.
Right,
very
Bumble
nice.
and Rudolph and licensed soaps.
Smells so good.
So anyway, we had a good time. I just want to say, the nice thing about Jolly Creek is that they employ, and not just Jolly Creek, but other places like Gaylord Palms in the area, they employ local entertainment. And so, some of the furloughed friends may find places elsewhere, like Jolly Creek, like Gaylord Palms, and I really appreciate that. So it's really a great thing to support.
So believe it or not, that is another show.
That's another show. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel, and Mousesteps Travel.
That's right.
I'm a little tired. It's been a big week.
Every day, some days, a couple of things. We didn't even show it this week, but the Grand Floridian Walkway to the Magic Kingdom opened, and we walked all the way from the TTC where we parked to the Magic Kingdom and turned around and walked back. So it was a very nice walk.
And I'm going to do it tomorrow, but we weren't planning to do it. Was it yesterday or the day before?
That was 2 days. Today is now Sunday. That was Friday. And we also went to SeaWorld for their event.
And we were only planning on doing SeaWorld that day, and it was like Christmas. It's like Grand Floridian Walkway open, so now we have to go.
Well, not to mention we started off with Universal and Animal Kingdom and Jolly Creek, so we already have plenty for next week's show.
We could probably do a couple more weeks, but like this week we're mostly laying low. Tomorrow I'm going to go to the Grand Floridian and to the beach club to pick up some...
This is how Denise lays low, by the way.
Well, I want to pick up some treats I'm not going to the parks. I want to pick up some treats for my mother and a couple things for us as well. To bring her. I'm going to go visit her tomorrow.
Socially distant, of course.
Yes, with my mask and, a brief visit. But that way, usually she comes to Walt Disney World for a couple of days, stays overnight. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but at least I can bring a little Disney to her, and I did that for the Halloween time frame too. And this is something we can talk about next week too. A lot of the resorts, at least the deluxe resorts, have holiday treats from the same, like the Grand Floridian has some gingerbread and their gingerbread house, and a mini Stalin bread. Beach Club Marketplace also has some really fun items too, and contemporary and boardwalk.
Sounds like we'll have some bonus treats for our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, we will. And so also I'm going to Disney Springs tomorrow to pick up a couple things like pizza, to bring pizza ponte to my mom. And then
Your mother is so lucky.
And then also I'm going to check out some of those trees, the tree stroll.
Oh, that's right. I almost forgot about those. So much going on. Oh boy, we have to get to Disney Springs too.
But otherwise, I'm not sure if we're doing too much else except for the Legoland.
We're gonna stay away from the parks this week because it is getting busy. The holiday week, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like. I'm looking at the times for today, and the parks except for Animal Kingdom are busier than a normal Sunday, and a lot of the park passes seem to be sold out this week.
But we'll be back in action soon enough. Epcot, we want to see the beginning of their festivities there. So if it's not too bad, we might make a venture over on Friday. See. I suspect it will be crowded. We'll go the following Monday if that's the case. Otherwise, a lot of holiday goodness to come.
Crowded compared to a normal day
time that
now.
we're used to now.
Yes. And we're definitely planning on like around December 1st or so to go to Epcot. We're kind of rambling now. Huh?
So I just want to say thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week. And stay safe.
Stay safe.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving. It's hard to.
And I'll make sure Denise gets woken up. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, thanks. I'm a little tired today, and so this week we'll be working at home mostly, and next week we'll do a lot more fun stuff.
All right. We'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.